Hey, welcome to Zombie Tactics. You know, it's an old adage in sort of the Second Amendment self-defense advocacy community that when you've got seconds, the police will be there in minutes, or when seconds count, the police will, minutes later, they'll be something like that. You know, that point became very clear to me and my wife a while back because we did a little experiment in our own home. We said, all right, somebody's broken down the door. How long is it going to take before they're going to get to you? What kind of time have you got to do something about that, regardless of what your response is going to be? And we figured out in our little house, it's not tremendously small and it's not tremendously large. It's somewhere in between, kind of normal for Northern California. About maybe 15, 20 seconds if you're lucky. So that whole idea that when seconds count, the police are minutes away, yeah, that's not really going to work so much for us. But something else happened recently to drive that home even more clearly to my wife and I. We got an opportunity to participate in a community awareness program that's run in our local county. And as a part of that, we got to tour the 911 call center for the county. Now, we live in a county that's about, I think, 360, 380,000 people. Not tremendously huge by California standards, certainly, but a wide amount of area. It's a low crime county, and not some horrible area. There is a considerable amount of marijuana growing, and there's a meth problem like there is everywhere. But overall, not too bad. But here we are at the 911 call center, and a few things occurred to us that we were kind of going, wow, this is really serious. One, right off the bat, the people that work there, sharp as a tack, really just intelligent, quick-witted, smart people doing a good job and trying to do the best they have. They've got great technology. There's, at every workstation, there's a screen here that's got all the different radio systems for police and fire and the sheriff's deputies and every possible emergency service that you could think of. Over here, there's a screen where they've got all the incoming calls, and in the middle there's a thing where they can pull up maps that show them where all the police are in the area and all the sheriff's deputies are in the area. Pretty neat stuff. Really kind of science fiction, wow kind of thing. And lots of stuff with that technology to allow them to input information and dispatch resources as quickly as possible. But even at that, under ideal circumstances, in what was described to us as kind of a slow night, there were a couple of calls coming through that we could kind of hear in the background. One of them was a domestic dispute of some kind at a local motel or hotel, and another one, somebody perhaps was overdosing on drugs. And under ideal circumstances, when there's nothing particular going on, it's a slow night, it took them 60 seconds, 2 minutes, maybe as much as 3 minutes or more before they could actually dispatch the resources that were necessary to respond to that call. Now keep in mind, that's just the amount of time it takes them to put together the service call and say, all right, somebody get there with an ambulance, with a police car, with a SWAT team, whatever's needed, the bomb squad, whatever's animal control, anything like that. That's ideal circumstances. It's going to be like 60 seconds, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes maybe, depending upon the nature of the call. Considering that my wife and I had already discovered 20 seconds, somebody's on top of you already in our house. Again, that's just not going to cut it. But one more level up from that, another thing occurred to me. I think unintentionally as a part of the presentation, the person that was doing all the talking there and showing us all the cool stuff, she mentioned what had happened when there was a grass fire in the area. And that was that the board was entirely lit up. Entirely lit up. All of the lines coming in were taken up. No one was able to get through to 911 at that time because everybody was calling about the fire. And there's only a handful of people working there at any given time for this whole county. And that's not really a resource problem. I think that's just kind of how much they staff it for how much they think they're going to need. But it brought to our mind and our attention how easily and how quickly the 911 emergency response system can be completely overwhelmed in even a county or a city where it's very well staffed. Now consider, as we did, what if there were a major power outage that lasted for days? They get calls on all of that stuff. What if there is a grass fire in an area? What if there is some major civil unrest? Those lines are lit up. They are completely inundated, and for all intents and purposes, 911 is not available to you. Police are not coming. Consider that in your planning, because you have to at least consider the notion that whether it's for 5 minutes, 20 minutes, or never that the police are going to arrive, you need to plan for the possibility that you may just be on your own, and prepare accordingly, because your life and the lives of those you love and care about is on the line. That's Zombie Tactics for today. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.